Annyeonghaseyo, hello everyone, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about my tried and tested tips for learning Korean. These are all things that I do and have done, so I'm hoping they will be as helpful to you as they have been for me. Before I dive into those, I will say my setup is a little different than normal. I'm actually sitting on an exercise ball right now because I had a little bit of an issue with my ring light, meaning I accidentally broke it, so I had to reconfigure everything kind of on the fly. But here we are, we're gonna go with it. If I suddenly fall out of the frame, we're just gonna roll with it. No pun intended, but there you go. Now that that's done, let's dive right into my tips. I have 3 basic tips for learning Korean, and these, again, like I said, are things that I do every single day, and let's just jump right in. The first tip I have is to do something language related every single day. Whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes, spending a little time each day consistently is going to be very beneficial. I can tell a huge difference in how I'm able to retain things if I study consistently every day, as opposed to if I take even just 3 or 4 days off. So it's very important, I think, to stay consistent. Like I said, even if it's just 5 minutes. One great way I have found, and it's the way that I typically do to try to stay consistent even in those small pieces of time, is to use Duolingo. Duolingo is a free language learning app. I have it on my phone, and I can typically knock out a lesson or 2 during my lunch break, and it doesn't take up a tremendous amount of time, but it still reinforces what I'm learning. There are tons of different options and topics that you'll go through, such as animals, food, modifiers, things like that. And there's even a section now for learning Hangul, or the Korean alphabet, and I found that that has been really beneficial as it helps to clear up some of the sounds. I don't know about anybody else, but a lot of the sounds in Hangul sound very similar when they're spoken. And so having the Hangul section of Duolingo has been super helpful to me because I can hear some of those differences now where before I couldn't. The second part of doing something language related that doesn't necessarily take up a lot of time is to make up sentences about your day or things that you see. And this can be something simple. For instance, I recently went and saw Shang-Chi in theaters and immediately started texting my friends in Korean how I wanted to ride a dragon, which is 영웅 타고 싶어요. So I want to ride a dragon. Pretty simple, but it was a cool way. I had just learned the word for dragon and to ride, and so it was a neat way to have fun with it and use what I had been learning. You could also just make up random sentences like that, or make up sentences about things you see. You can count cars in a parking lot. I've done that before. Or you can make up sentences about other things. I have made up sentences about my dog, asking where the dog is. I can't remember how to phrase that right now because I'm on camera and that makes me nervous. But you can also make up other sentences. I've made up other sentences about my dog, about her being strange. 제가는 이상해요. 그런데 너무 사랑해요. My dog is strange, but I love her. And that's true. So I did at least remember that one. So my second tip for Korean language learners is to use a variety of materials. So you can use virtual methods, books, listening exercises. Don't limit yourself to just one thing. I've done this, don't recommend it. Even though I love Duolingo and I like the benefits that it offers, I do think it is more helpful to use different sources. You need to learn how to write Korean for one thing. Reading Korean, use a textbook or use free materials. I know Talk to Me in Korean, I've used tons of their materials. They have a great variety of free resources out there. So use those, utilize them. Just make sure that you're mixing it up and not just sticking to the same thing, because you want to be able to identify it in different ways. One easy way, or one, I guess, easy way, listen to K-pop or Korean music or watch K-dramas. Even something as simple as that is a different way of learning. It's more passive learning, but you would be surprised at how much that can help you along the way. My last tip for Korean language learning is use social media to your advantage. Social media is a big deal. Most people I know use it daily. I use it daily. So this is a great way to get content. You can follow Korean content makers, you can follow actors, you can follow celebrities, you can follow pretty much anybody that will be talking or posting things in Korean, and that's an easy way for you to kind of get exposure to it without having to put forth too much effort. I do this. I follow many of the teachers from Talk to Me in Korean. I follow a lot of Korean content makers who that is their job. They make content to teach you Korean. So I can link some of those or go over some of those if you guys are interested in that. But that's an easy way to get exposure to it. And like I said, after time, you will be surprised at what you're able to understand and what you're able to pick up just from that continued exposure from it. I will say too, you don't have to follow anybody that's a celebrity or somebody high profile. Make Korean friends and follow some of them. I have some that I follow on Instagram, and I like reading what they post. So use social media to your advantage. So finally, I just want to throw this last bonus tip in. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of any learning process. So you're gonna make mistakes. I have made mistakes and continue to make mistakes, such as forgetting how to say, "Where is the dog?" which I think it is "걔는 어디 있어요?" I think I'm probably making a mistake right now, but that's part of the process. You're gonna make mistakes, and mistakes are okay because that's how you learn. If you don't make mistakes, you're never gonna learn how to do it correctly, and then you'll just never learn it at all. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay. Just roll with it, keep going, you got this. So, to recap, my 3 language learning tips: do something language related every single day. Use a variety of materials. Don't limit yourself. 3, use social media to your advantage. It's a great free resource. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the learning process. So I actually have a full article that I wrote about this very subject and went over in a little bit more detail these 3 language learning tips, which I'm going to link in the description. So if you would like to read that, it's available in there. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions, anything if you want to discuss. I'll be happy to talk with you about it. And hey, leave your favorite language learning tip in the comments. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? You never know, it might be the key to helping someone else along their journey. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Bye everyone.